Hi there, folks. Lynn Ames here. I, with every book release, put out an excerpt of that book so that you can take it for a test run. I thought this time I would do something a little different. Normally, when I do that, it is simply an audio file and you can close your eyes and listen to a bedtime story. But this time I thought I would try something a little different and do it via a video link to you so that you could get a sense of my brand new book release, Final Cut. Final Cut is book 4 in the Kate and Jay series, but it could just as easily be a standalone action-adventure romance. And if you want to close your eyes and just listen, hey, that's even better with me. I actually prefer that, being that I'm, believe it or not, relatively camera shy. So I'm going to read you an excerpt from the beginning of Final Cut. And before I do that, I thought perhaps I would read you the synopsis of the book. I need my glasses to read. I apologize in advance, but I'm at that age. So here is the synopsis first for Final Cut. Nearly 3 decades ago, Catherine Kyle and Jameson Parker saved the life of the President of the United States, in the process exposing an exceedingly dangerous, powerful shadow organization. The entire episode came at great personal cost and forever changed the trajectory of the couple's lives. Now at the peak of her career as one of the preeminent novelists of the day, Jay is finally ready to put the past to rest in a fictional treatment until powerful government forces intervene. Oscar-winning actress Dara Thomas and her new wife, screenwriter Rebecca Minton, may hold the key to disseminating the truth. Two of the most visible, formidable power couples in the country stand against the might of a government hell-bent on keeping secrets. From the hallowed halls of the White House to the glittering streets of Hollywood, this is one adventure for the books. And now, without further ado, here is chapter 1 of Final Cut, and I really hope you enjoy. Hey babe, check this out. Catherine Kyle folded her copy of the New York Times book review section in half and held it out for her wife to see. You know, I always love the way the photographer has you cock your head to the side for these publicity shots. Yeah, well, keeps me from squinting into the strobe lights and highlighting my wrinkles. Jameson Parker, you don't have any wrinkles. Really? What do you call these then? Jay pulled at the sides of her eyes. Those are laugh lines. That's different. You say tomato. The flight attendant interrupted. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your seatbelts are securely fastened and your tray tables are in their upright and locked position. We'll be closing the doors shortly for departure. Jay laid the newspaper in her lap and buckled her seatbelt. She picked it up again and studied the quarter-page ad. From the pen of New York Times best-selling author Jameson Parker comes a tale of government intrigue and corporate greed that will leave you breathless. Did you know Black Quill was doing pre-release publicity for the book? Kate asked. Isn't it a little early? The book isn't due out for another 10 months. I didn't, but then I'm usually the last to know. Nice cover art. Kate fumbled for her phone as it buzzed. Who the heck would be texting me now? She swiped the screen and read. Shit. Shit? That's eloquent. Kate tilted the screen so that Jay could see it. The frog is on the move. Code red. What does that mean? Jay asked. It means Sebastian is in trouble. Kate put on her Bluetooth and dialed a number. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now closing the cabin doors. It's time for you to turn off and stow all cell phones and large electronic devices for takeoff. And right. Peter, it's Kate. I see you got the text. Listen, Jay and I are en route to Los Angeles and we're just about to take off. What's in L.A.? We're honorary co-chairs for the GLAAD Media Awards. What's going on? You know, the usual. All hell is breaking loose. Can you tell me in 5 seconds or less? Let's just say he's wanted, and not in a good way. For what? Hacking into Homeland Security's servers and leaking classified data. What? Sebastian would never. Ma'am, you're going to have to turn off your cell phone now. Kate gave an exasperated nod to the flight attendant. I gotta shut down. Quickly, what do you think they leaked? What does he think they leaked? Or what do they think he leaked? And to whom? Our 1989 run-in with the Commission and all of the Highland Commission report, and to a reporter Jay knows well. Kate winced. Oh, no. Ma'am? Peter, I've got to go. I'll call you as soon as we land. Fly safe. Kate ended the call, powered down her phone, and dropped it in her bag. What's going on? Jay asked. Doesn't make any sense. What doesn't make any sense, and why are you suddenly so pale? Kate waited until the roar of the engines was at its peak. Then she leaned over and whispered in Jay's ear. Peter says Sebastian is wanted for treason for leaking classified documents from Homeland Security. What? Jay practically screamed it, then, remembering where they were, lowered her voice to match Kate's whisper. Why would he do that? He saved their butts hundreds of times from hackers trying to get into their systems. What would his motive be? It gets worse. How much worse can it get? Kate reached out and stroked Jay's hand. Kate? How much worse? Kate closed her eyes. Surely this couldn't be happening. She didn't want to tell Jay, but she knew she must. He's accused of stealing the sealed materials from the commission investigation and the plot against President Highland. Jay practically jumped out of her seat. No! No, no, no! She shrugged off Kate's touch, buried her head in her hands, and grabbed a fistful of hair. Jay. Oh, Kate. When Jay looked up again, her hair was standing out at odd angles. Who was the recipient of the leak? I don't know for sure. Kate? I mean it. Peter didn't give me a name. Jay studied her wife. I know that look. There's something you're not telling me. What is it? All Peter said was that it was a reporter you knew well. Oh my God, you realize what this means? Jay, we don't know everything yet. Let's just wait until we land. Then we can call Peter back and get more details. The book. Jay looked down in her lap where her face gazed up at her from the ad for her upcoming novel. Is a fictional account of something only a dozen people know about, Kate finished. Knew about, you mean, Jay said glumly. We don't know the extent of the leak or what the reporter did with whatever information he got. Come on, Kate, if it was minor, we probably wouldn't even know about it. The FBI would have handled it, and it already would have been buried by now. Kate stared at Jay. What? Who are you, and what have you done with my normally sunny, optimistic wife? Jay heaved a heavy sigh. I'm sorry, you're right. She sat back in her seat. But I've worked so hard on this book. I know you have, sweetheart. It's taken me 27 years to bring myself to write about what happened. I know. Kate reached out again, this time intertwining their fingers. How about if we wait until we know more before we jump to conclusions about what this means for the book? Jay glanced down at her lap one more time. She let go of Kate's hand, grabbed the folded newspaper, and stuffed it in the seat pocket in front of her. Let's talk about something else. After a moment's silence, Kate said, Okay, what if we focus on tonight's event? How exciting is it going to be to meet Dara Thomas and her wife, Rebecca? Hollywood's it couple. Dara was so gutsy coming out at the Oscars like she did. She was. Then again, standing up there accepting the award for Best Actress makes you the hottest property in town. It's the ideal time to do something bold if you're going to do it. True, but you got to give her props. She could have lost millions in salary and some major movie roles. She could have, Kate acknowledged. But to me, the coolest thing is that she didn't. No, she didn't. She went right back into production for the second Constance Darrow adaptation without batting an eyelash. Good for the studio for standing by her. What's the name of the new film again? Love Above All Else, Jay said. The book was exquisite. I can't wait to see the movie. It opens in theaters next week. I'm always leery of adaptations. Somehow they're never quite as good as the books on which they're based. Normally I'd agree with you, but the movie version of On the Wings of Angels was amazing. Then again, Rebecca wrote the script. She's the world's preeminent Constance Darrow scholar. That's how she met Dara, isn't it? On the set? I think so. You know I don't pay attention to any gossip. But it's such a beautiful love story. It's like something straight out of a romance novel. Kate laughed. You're a hopeless romantic. Takes one to know one. Jay leaned over and kissed Kate on the cheek. Thanks. For what? For pulling me back from the brink. That was an excellent deflection. Any time. Kate reclined her seat. It's going to be a long night. How about we try to get some sleep? Honey, have you seen my black strapless bra? I could have sworn it was in this drawer. No need to shout. A warm, mellifluous voice hummed in Rebecca Mitten Thomas's ear as strong arms wrapped around her naked torso. I'm right here. Heat flowed through Rebecca's body as she responded to her wife's touch. Did you say you were looking for this? Dara nuzzled Rebecca's neck. Rebecca tipped her head back. No, but it's a nice appetizer. And if you keep it up, we'll be late. Rebecca reluctantly broke the embrace. Spoil sport. Dara closed the open dresser drawer. Your strapless bras and sexy panties belong in your high-fashion lingerie drawer. She made a show of removing the bra in question, along with a pair of black lace panties, from the next drawer down. Rebecca raised an eyebrow. I have a high-fashion lingerie drawer? She took the bra and panties from Dara, put them on, and walked to the closet where her dress was hanging. You do. We have so many formal functions to attend, it only made sense to give these specialty items their own space. You know that's a little OCD, right? Rebecca laughed and removed the little black dress from the hanger and stepped into it. Zip me up? You say OCD, I say efficient, Dara said as she complied, then spun Rebecca around and held her at arm's length. What? Even though they'd been married for almost a year, Rebecca still marveled at the raw hunger in Dara's eyes. You're gorgeous, that's what. Rebecca swallowed hard. I bet you say that to all the girls. Nope, only to the one who owns my heart. Dara ran her thumb over Rebecca's bottom lip. I love you. I love you too. The kiss was long and lingering. By the time they separated, Rebecca was completely breathless. Dara glanced at her watch. Oh my God, we gotta get going. I tried to tell you, Rebecca said. She gave herself a last once-over in the full-length mirror. In the reflection of the glass, she watched Dara slip into her shoes. The electric blue Oscar de la Renta dress hugged her in all the right places. She blushed as Dara turned and held her gaze in the mirror. Why are you embarrassed? Rebecca shrugged. I guess I still fret sometimes that you'll feel like I'm objectifying you. Dara came over and took Rebecca's hands. Sweetheart, you're the only person in the world I never worry about that with. I hope you always, always look at me just like that. That's a given. Rebecca risked one more kiss. Okay, let's go before we don't. Right. Together they headed for the front door. The limo sped down Wilshire Boulevard on its way to the Beverly Hilton. Kate and Jay had barely had time to check into their hotel and change for the awards gala before meeting the driver downstairs. Kate, please? After almost 3 decades together, Kate understood the shorthand request without the need for further elaboration. She closed the privacy partition between them and the driver, affixed her Bluetooth to her ear, and called Peter. Is he safe? Beside her, Jay sat rigidly with a knee bobbing up and down and her hands clenched tightly in her lap. Kate reached out and put a hand on Jay's leg to still the nervous motion, then let go. He's left the building. Was that an answer? It's what I have right now. Kate didn't like how tense Peter sounded. It wasn't the cryptic nature of the conversation. She was well used to his insistence on secrecy. No, there was something different in his tone, something she couldn't quite identify. Yet. Does that mean you don't know where he is? How was the flight? Kate accepted the change in topic for what it was. Either Peter didn't have any idea where Sebastian was, or he wasn't comfortable giving the information over the phone. It also occurred to Kate that, depending on the details of the situation, she might be better off not knowing the answer. The flight was smooth. Jay didn't get much shut-eye, though. She's a little preoccupied. Again, Kate put a hand on Jay's thigh. Surely there must be something more you can tell me. The hack was catastrophic and surgical. That's why the feds immediately focused on our guy. Whoever got in there was that good. Does the frog know who did it or how? No, and it's eating him up. I can just imagine. Kate pictured Sebastian, his fingers flying across a keyboard, smashing through virtual backdoors to gain access to highly protected information, tracing every keystroke that preceded his. Peter? Who was the reporter? I was wondering when you were going to get around to asking that. It was Niles. Niles Masterson? Jay gasped. That was who the hacker sent the files to? Niles? Any word? Kate held up a hand. Do you know what Niles did with the information? I don't know everything yet. I'm still trying to get a handle on it, but I can tell you this much. He called the former First Lady to verify that her husband was asthmatic and that his inhaler was tampered with. He called Mimi Highland? Oh, no. Oh, yes. Niles called... Give me a second, honey, Kate said to Jay. To Peter, she said, and you know this because after she alerted the Secret Service about a reporter for Time magazine knowing details of the incident that were never made public, Mrs. Highland decided she should check with me to see if I had any idea what was going on. I didn't realize you'd remained in contact with her. You remember last June at President Highland's funeral when she asked me to stay behind for a minute? Yes. She told me she wanted to let go of the former president's Secret Service detail. She didn't feel comfortable with the taxpayers footing the bill for her safety. So she asked me if she could keep in touch with me, asked if I would watch out for her. She said she trusted me because her husband trusted me and because we had a history. That's nice. We don't often talk, but when something comes up and she thinks I can be helpful, she calls. Is that the reason our guy managed to stay a step ahead? Catherine Kyle, I don't know what you're talking about. Of course you don't. Anything else you want to share? It's all I've got right now. You'll keep us posted? Of course. Thanks. See you when we get back. Just as Kate ended the call, Jay's cell phone rang. Oh my God, not already. Who is it? My editor at Black Quill. Jay answered the call. Jameson Parker. She listened for a minute. Yes, I know who Niles is. He was my fact-checking intern at Time before I left. I was the one who got him a job on staff as a reporter. Jay listened some more. He's asking you to verify that the details of my plot are based on real incidents that are still classified? After another second, Jay asked, What did you tell him? Jay went pale underneath her makeup. No, I understand. Thanks for the heads up. She cleared her throat. Well, I'm in Los Angeles right now at a function. I can sit down with you and the publisher when I get back in a few days. Jay turned away to stare out the window. Yes, 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. I'll be there. Bye. She put the phone down on the seat and faced Kate. That didn't take long. What did he say? In light of the questions being asked, the publisher is being advised by counsel to put the book on hold until they can do more fact-gathering to ensure I haven't revealed any state secrets. You're kidding me. I wish. Jay opened her clutch and stuffed the phone inside. What did Peter say? He said that Niles called Mimi Highland to ask about the asthma inhaler, and that Mrs. Highland called the Secret Service to report it. Then she called Peter to ask him about it. That's how Sebastian managed to disappear before the feds showed up at his door. Peter alerted him. Yes, we all know Sebastian didn't do this, but someone with a similar skill set did. And Sebastian is our best hope to figure out who that someone is. Exactly. And he can't do that if he's locked up somewhere. Jay shook her head. Kate, what am I going to do? Just as she was about to answer, the limo pulled up in front of the Beverly Hilton. Reporters and television cameras lined a red carpet. Kate took Jay's hand. For right now, you're going to smile for the cameras, and we're going to get through tonight. What if someone asks me a question on the way in? Kate considered. I doubt word would have spread that quickly, but if someone does ask something, just act like you don't hear the question and keep moving. The limo driver opened the door, and Kate squeezed Jay's hand. We've got this, sweetheart. She looked deeply into her wife's eyes. Ready? As I'll ever be. And that is the beginning of Final Cut. I hope you've enjoyed the excerpt, not an expert. I'm not an expert. This is why when this becomes an audiobook, I will not be doing the reading. I have professional background as a news anchor and a reporter and a journalist. I have a background in television and radio, but I am not a voice actor, and a professional voice actor should be doing this. And this book, I hope, deserves that kind of treatment. In any event, I do hope you've enjoyed this excerpt. I hope that it prompts you to order the book. You can order the book from my website, www.lynnames.com. I print and I autograph and personalize every print book order that comes to my website. You can also order multiple ebook formats from my website for Kindle, for Kobo, for Nook, for your iPad, for your iPhone, for your Android. For all of that. Or you can go to Amazon or any good bookstore and find the book yourself. In any event, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this journey. And I hope that you enjoy Final Cut. Take care.